What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Today, I want to talk to you about X-Tinction Agenda, War Zones. This is a 4-issue miniseries. It is one of the many tie-ins to the 2015 Secret Wars event. This is written by Mark Guggenheim with art by Carmine Di Giandomenico. And this is a sort of sequel to the 1990 X-Men crossover X-Tinction Agenda, or at least a version of that story, since this is set in an alternate reality. And basically, I will go ahead and say, if you have not read X-Tinction Agenda, you don't have to read this story. If you are interested in reading this, you don't have to do your homework, because this story does a really good job of catching you up on everything that happened in the main X-Tinction Agenda storyline before you get into this book. So basically, the plot here is that after the events of the X-Tinction Agenda, you had X-Men characters like Havoc, Wolfsbane, Richter, and Mystique. They stayed on Genosha to try and help get the people living there on their feet, try to help fix everything that went wrong before and during the events of the X-Tinction Agenda. And then while they're there, this big, huge extinction plague starts happening, and it has a 100% fatality rate, we are told. And so the island of Genosha is quarantined, and then all the other X-Men characters are living large in X City, and they refuse to help the people living on Genosha. We are told that they don't think that the healers, if they go to Genosha and try and heal everyone of the extinction plague, people like Rachel Gray and the Beast, they don't think that the healers are going to succeed, and then that will endanger everyone living outside of Genosha. So then Havoc decides they are going to go to X City, and they're going to kidnap the healers and then bring them to Genosha to try and help save everyone of the extinction plague. And then after that, we have a big sort of miniature X-Men Civil War thing going on here, and then everyone finds out that there's something much bigger going on here that they didn't realize was going on while they were trying to combat the extinction plague. And basically, this has the same problem that most every other superhero Civil War type story has. Something like Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, or the main Civil War comic book. Any of these stories where you have superheroes fighting each other over some kind of ideological difference, this has the same problem that almost all of those have, in that I very much feel for one group of characters here, and the other group of characters I do not feel for at all. In fact, I see them as being very selfish and not really caring about their friends who are dying on this island. You have Havoc, who multiple times has appealed to Rachel and said, please send these healers over here, we are dying. And Rachel said, sorry, if we send the healers, then they may not succeed, and then we're going to die. Never mind the fact that healers, literally their entire job is to heal. That's their mutant ability. That would be like saying Rachel may not be able to use her telepathy even though she has telepathy. The healers may not be able to heal these people, and if they don't heal them, then we're going to die, so we're going to let you guys die. So then Havoc and his group, they go to X City to kidnap the healers, and then suddenly Rachel and Beast are like, this means war. We have to go to Genosha, we have to fight our friends, and they're not our friends anymore because they kidnapped some of our friends. And then multiple times, the X-Men who are living on X City, they try to guilt trip the Genoshan X-Men, saying like, how dare you kidnap our people? Why would you even do this? And I'm thinking, they're trying to save their lives. You refuse to help them. At one point, somebody says, you have a funny way of asking for help. I'm thinking, they did ask for help multiple times, and you guys refuse to help them. This book is written so poorly, which I shouldn't be surprised. This is Mark Guggenheim writing, and I don't think I've ever liked anything that he's written, and this is just par for the course with him. You've got some characters here who are acting very sensibly, and then you have other characters who are trying to guilt trip these guys and saying like, you guys have really done something stupid here, we're going to come in, we're going to fight you. At one point, after Rachel takes her team to Genosha to rescue her friends who have been kidnapped by Havoc and his friends, he says, oh, so you were willing to break quarantine to come here and fight us, but you weren't willing to break quarantine to come here and help save our lives. And then Rachel says, well, you kidnapped our friends. And I'm thinking like, who cares if he kidnapped your friends? He would, if you just let them use the healers to heal the people for 5 minutes, then your friends can go back home, and then everyone will be alive. I thought that was just really weird. Then the last half of this book is just a big fight with a common enemy. It kind of just happens because otherwise we don't really have a good ending to this story. I personally was much more invested in seeing the Genoshan X-Men slap around the characters from X City, because the characters from X City like Beast and Rachel Gray were being really stupid, and I really wanted to see the Genoshan X-Men show them. I wanted them to say, hey, look, things are really bad here. You guys were letting us die in the filth over here while you guys were over there playing baseball. They were literally playing baseball when Havoc and his group went and kidnapped some of the healers, and I'm thinking like, yeah, you guys have no room to talk about, getting on your high horse about how these guys kidnapped your friends. Just no. Also, we have this really weird subplot that's introduced about halfway into the book and then is never brought up again. Apparently, in this reality, Beast has reached into the time stream and he has pulled a few mutants into the present day. Wolverine, Thunderbird, and Banshee. Apparently, he did this shortly before all of them died. So this is weird because Wolverine, he did not die at any point before the Extinction Agenda. He didn't even almost die before the Extinction Agenda. So we're seeing that even though the Extinction Agenda probably happened in a similar way that it did in the main Marvel Universe, apparently characters like Banshee and Wolverine died before the Extinction Agenda. And basically Rachel is guilt-tripping Beast, saying like, you really screwed up here. Why did you mess up with the time stream? And Beast says he sees a big calamity coming in the future. He actually uses the word calamity. He says there's some big calamity coming, and we're going to need all the help that we can get. Here's an idea, Beast. Why don't you send the healers to Genosha, and then they can heal everyone, and then you'll have an entire island of mutants who can help you with this big calamity that's very vague, and you never mention it again in the rest of this miniseries. Also, I feel like this is just a reference to Beast doing a very similar thing in the main Marvel Universe, except there he had an equally stupid reason for bringing mutants into the present day from the past, but I don't even understand why this subplot had to be there. It's for 2 pages. We basically just get to see that Beast has done this, and then you don't even have to say that Wolverine died and that Beast brought him into the present day. You could just say that Wolverine is alive at this point because, hey, he was alive during the events of the Extinction Agenda in the main Marvel Universe. This subplot really just feels like it was there just to kill space. This whole miniseries is just really bad. Mark Guggenheim is not a very good writer, and this is just par for the course with him. Unfortunately, I do not recommend this book. I did like some of the ideas. I like the premise of the beginning of the book with the Genoshans kind of sort of going to war with the X-Men living outside of Genosha. Unfortunately, I feel like this needs to be about 4 or 5 times longer to really explore the political ideologies of the characters living on Genosha and the characters not living on Genosha. We really needed a better reason for these guys not to go help their friends on Genosha than, we might die if we do it, so we're just going to let you guys die over there. We really needed something better to keep these guys from going to Genosha. Something like, I don't know. I don't know what it would have been. I'm not the writer of this book. Whoever wrote it, Mark Guggenheim, he probably should have come up with a better reason. But anyway, don't really think that this is that good, but if you are a huge fan of the Extinction Agenda, you might want to check this out just for the novelty, but really, I think that this is pretty skippable across the board. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the Extinction Agenda War Zones miniseries. I hope that you guys liked this review, and if you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will be back later this week with some more videos. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your day. Catch you later.